Today I have the honor of interviewing Squeegie Oblong, a dope MC, prolific with over 11 albums available on digital streaming platforms. His most recent album, After These Messages, is a collection of unreleased gems with multiple producers. He's from Staten Island, and he's a dope spitter. We're gonna bring him in and talk to him about his career, what he's currently working on, and what he's got coming up next.
Peace, peace.
Peace. Thank you so much.
Oh man, thank you. Likewise, man. I appreciate it.
Bro, you're so dope. And
Thank you,
original.
man.
So like your approach to rhyming has so much personality and character. The beats you choose, the song concepts, and your discography dates way back to 10 years ago. You've been putting in work, releasing album after album.
Yeah, man.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for all your contributions.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. You know, I'm just trying to get out here, play around and have some fun,
Yeah. That's dope. What I always love to do whenever I have a dope MC, any sort of creative, is talk about, how they got started, how they fell in love with, in your case, music, hip hop, and how you first got started. Can you give us a little bit of insight to your origin story?
All right. I wouldn't say I just popped up and I was like, yo, I was the ultimate MC from birth and it just did all this wild shit. Nah, man. My parents were heavy music people. My mother loved R&B music, all different types of shit like Patti LaBelle, Anita Baker. My pops was really the eccentric one. He liked rock and roll. We talking Rolling Stones. One of his favorite bands is Steel Pulse. It's a reggae group. And all different types of shit. So as far as music, I was always exposed to different styles and different things. How I tripped into hip hop is pretty much between my father and like my uncles and like my older cousins. My father was no stray from what was going on musically. He liked to be connected with everything, and like my uncle, he's like older, but he's young. You know what I'm saying? And in that era in time, he was living his life. So I got put onto a lot of different things. And God bless my cousin Egon. He was heavily immersed into it, and I just picked up off them paying attention. And I didn't get the desire to really want to write rhymes and do music. I want to say till I was about like 12, 13 years old.
Yeah, that's still super young.
Yeah. A couple of my friends from the neighborhood, shout out my man Spunk, my man Tone, my man Claude, my man E Good. We used to get up together as kids and rap in my crib. I had this big ass stereo 5-disc CD changer, and my man Spunk, he had like a boom box, but it had a built-in mic. So we would play the instrumentals in the background stereo, and then rap in the little built-in mic. And we would just like create and make demos just to be bullshitting around. You know what I'm saying? There was no real content, no substance to it. We were just trying to put our foot through the door and like trying to rap, and I just been running with it ever since.
That's dope. So did you start off first like freestyling?
Yeah, pretty much. A lot of my early material was freestyle, trying to get my writing shit together and things like that. Developing my own little crafting skill. I was just writing like silly shit, man. When you're a teenager, you don't really think about
life experience.
Right. It's a whole lot that you're still trying to learn and go through in this life. So, then it's just rap about silly shit, rap about girls. I'm hanging out with my people, trying to kick the lingo that you hear on the regular with the older heads and the radio and shit like that. So
yeah, that's dope, man. And then at what point do you start actually like, putting together songs, learning about, song structure, 16 bars, 8-bar hooks, song arrangement, and then ultimately getting in the studio?
I want to say from about 16 to maybe about like 2021.
Yeah.
Around 16 in high school, I was trying to get my own little thing, still keeping that same formula. I had like my own little setup in the crib where I would record My cousin Egon, he would send me like tapes, beats and shit. And my boy Tone, he would always have instrumentals. We'd be rapping with that. And I was a student of the game, always paying attention. I'm the type that read credits. So, you know, I like to read credits, who wrote this, who had a background vocal and all that. So, you know, reading lyrics and reading the linear notes, that's how I caught the breakdown of how the 16 to formulate. And then there were some other people that I ran into in that stage of my life where they was like showing me how to count bars. You know, this is how you count 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, and things of that. As, you know, trying to progress and get my shit together, I would say about 21. Well, I wouldn't say about 21. I'd say about like 19, 20. That's when we started going to the studio and like really paying for studio time, trying to record and really make an effort out of it. And from there, it's just kind of like the building blocks to get to the now, you know.
What was that early studio?
First off, the guy might not even like me no more because I know as a young knucklehead, I owe this dude money. But shout out Moon Studios.
Yeah.
Down on Bay Street.
I mean, you know, it's probably all up now, especially since, you know what I'm saying? We putting the studio on because you established now, you know what I'm saying?
You know, you look at it like that. But yeah, shout out Moon Studios. That was the first real energy of recording records and putting, you know, records into fruition and making something happen.
Yeah, that's dope.
And from there, I was just a studio rat. If I was hanging out with somebody, they was recording, I could get in, you know, I'm coming to hang out, we go do this, it is what it is, you know what I'm saying?
That's dope, man. That's dope. Man, so like when I look at your discography, it's impressive, you know, and you've been putting in work, you know, you've got, man, I think it's like 11 albums on the digital streaming platforms. You got some EPs, you got numerous singles, numerous featurings on other albums.
Yeah.
Everything's dope, you know. You know, you just released a project like 2 months ago, After These Messages, right? Let's unpack that one a little bit. So After These Messages is a collection of gems, right? That haven't been released before with a variety of production. You've got 88 Blessed, you've got McQueen, right? Custodian of Records, right? Multiple other producers. Talk to us about that project and how that one came together and how you decided to release that.
All right. I would say maybe about the beginning of the year. I was sitting with my man Juan Kinetic, aka Steel Heem, on the Instagram services. We was talking. I'm in the middle of working on a project I'm about to release next month, and another project that I have like in the following. Coming up soon.
It's gonna be.
And I was just like, wow. I just be trying to keep busy. That's the key. Keep busy, keep consistent. I'm slowly learning that, so I'm trying to follow that straight through. So anyway, my man Juan Kinetic came through one day, and you know, I was just playing them joints, and he's like, "Yo, all this shit is dope, but you know, I don't think you should really rush into putting out a project because at the time, me and Jamil had just finished putting out the Harvey Kids project. So he was like, there's a lot of people that's not familiar with you that are just opening themselves to you because of that project. So what you should do is, in the meantime, in between time, while you're trying to put everything together and formulate the next project, do it like this. Put together a best of. You got so much material, you know, all these bodies of work, all this catalog of shit. Put something together. I said, you know what? I make it even more simplistic, but make it dope where it all pans out. So I decided, let's make it interesting. Instead of just doing the basic ass best of, how can we make it, you know, get in? So we go nostalgia. What's the best thing that you could think of nostalgia? I mean, other than clothes and certain places and areas. In my area, well, not in my area. In my era, our main staple was Saturday morning cartoon. So that's the first thing that I went with. That's the theme. Saturday morning cartoon.
The kids can't relate nowadays because they got Netflix and they can just watch. Like they don't understand the bowl of cereal. And having that block of cartoons, and that's the only time you can get it.
Like waking up at 7 in the morning and just sitting in front of your TV till about like 12, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Just really indulging, watching nothing but straight back-to-back good shit, you know what I'm saying?
Show after show.
Yeah, definitely. So I wanted to bring that vibe back. And, you know, I said, I got a plethora of records that, I mean, some of those records, we date back to about 2012.
Wow.
Most recent records on that project, I would say about like 7-8 months.
Yeah.
So, you know, to try to compact that and put it all together and then make it sound cohesive, I think was really the main situation, and Keith just really sitting down, building with it. And, you know, not for nothing, I'm happy the way it came out and how I put it together, because the response for it has been pretty awesome, you know.
Yeah.
People like how it played out. It gave them that vibe. That's what I was trying to approach, giving you that vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So had those versions of those songs been released anywhere else?
Let's see. I'll go like for an example, the Coming to Age joint. That originally was on a different beat. Shout out my man Fish, the producer. Him and my man Chris, they put together a project like maybe about 2-3 years ago, maybe a little bit further back than that. And I did that record to that beat that he had. But originally, that beat on that on the After These Messages version, I produced that and put that together. So, you know, I ain't really want to, at the moment in time, I didn't really feel like putting it out and putting it together. But now it's like, all right, the original was already in the universe. Now it's about that time to open that window and just put my light in there, the old mix. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a dope album, man. The way that it all came together, it sounds cohesive. I think that if nobody knew, you know, if you're just listening to it fresh, like you don't have the backstory, it just sounds like a dope album.
Right.
A really dope album, actually. A really dope album. Every track's a banger.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I love Gallagher. You got one of them that starts with the Gallagher music at the beginning.
Oh, the games people play. My man McQueen. Shout out to McQueen, man.
Yeah. That's a really, really dope joint. You know, so that one just dropped like 2 months ago. Right? But last year, about 1 year ago, you dropped Harbor Kids with Jamil Honesty. Talk about that dope album.
All right. So shout out to the nigga Jamil, man. That's the good brother right there. So fun fact, if y'all don't already know, I just fill people in if you're not familiar. Me and Jamil go back, I want to say, late 80s.
Wow.
Like, he got me by a couple of years, but, you know, we in the same age range. I used to live, actually, I lived on the 4th floor and he lived on the 5th floor. I mean, at the time, his mother's boyfriend is kind of like my godfather. So, you know, we was always cool and connected. Fast forward, we linked up back again about 2009. Then fast forward, we started putting music together and putting records together.
Wow.
So shout out to, I want to say, Southern Vanguard, because they are truthfully the influence behind the project. In the interview I was having with them, you know, they were saying how our chemistry like meshed so well together. It's like, yo, why don't y'all guys put together a project and do an album together? I was like, yo, that don't even sound like a bad idea.
Yeah.
And I was talking to him about it, and he was like, hell yeah, man. If I'm doing anybody, I do it with you.
Yeah.
And we really sat down and put that together, you know, and especially around the time of COVID. So we really sat down back and forth, phone calls, Instagram, everything. Yo, this how we gonna put this together? I bet. What you got for here? I'm gonna see what I can slide over this way and put this together like that. And yeah, the Harbor Kids project came together and did what it did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's dope. And are y'all thinking about doing Harbor Kids like another Harbor Kids, like almost like a duo?
I don't want to be the guy to say that it's gonna happen, it won't happen, and I won't be the guy to say that it won't happen and it does happen. But I will say, yeah, me and Jamel, we be getting busy, so don't be surprised if they getting busy. You know what I'm saying? That's good enough right there.
Yeah, and that's busy. Family. I mean, y'all basically like cousins.
Right, and it's you know what I'm saying? Real shit.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I got family that I call cousins that I grew up with that my mom knew their mom. They, you know, they came up.
Right.
Came up
that
around
old,
them
that old
life.
school vibe. Exactly, that old school kind of vibe. We all grew up together, like sense community type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. That's
word,
dope.
word.
That's
Yeah,
beautiful. That's beautiful.
we be cooking how we be cooking, even though we separate to do what we do. We always keep the fire on the forefront, and I'm gonna leave that at that.
That's dope. Yeah. All right. So you were talking about, you hinted at a new project that you're dropping next month.
Yes, Tan Face.
Talk to us about Tan Face.
Tan Face. I want to first give my props to Black Knight, a dope producer out of North Carolina. He's done some work with the likes of Hus Kingpin, Teller Banks, a couple of other dope artists and shit. And we've been working together for a while. And this one, I see more of a personal piece. The reason why I call it Tan Face is because, you know, the color tan stood out to me in the process of putting this project together. I did my homework, you know, trying to find out the spiritual properties, the real meaning of tan. And tan is pretty much, in a spiritual sense, having like groundness, stableness, stability, you know, a sense of awareness, and, you know, trying to keep elevated, whether positive or negative. So I figured this is like me wearing my face on my sleeve, you know. It's still got the raw rap shit on there, but I wanted it to connect on the level where somebody of my age rank, you know, the people above me, even some of the people below me, you know, you can understand it, because it's really life. It's just my life in play, instead of fast forward or rewind. We doing that in play right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And 13 bangers. Only got 2 guest appearances. Shout out Mother Color, an artist from Pensacola, Florida, very dope artist. And another MC by the name of Oda Gray out of the Bronx. Dude's fucking phenomenal, you know. And August. I would say I don't really like giving out my release dates, but I'll be real. August 15th.
Okay.
We definitely rocking with that.
That's dope.
You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna be a hot summer.
Yeah. I'm trying to do what I do to make it do what I do. You know, enjoy it while you still can. You know what I'm saying?
You know, the other thing that came to mind when you were talking about tan, and a lot of in your research and finding out like what the meaning of the word is, I would also say like earth is kind of like, you know, like a color tan, right?
Right.
Real grounded color. You know what I'm saying?
Right. From all the way down to the roots. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, it's dope. Like earth tones and all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, I tried to stay away from slow draggers as far as production, because I believed in frequency this time around, putting something together. If you're going to put something together right, you want to make sure you bring a vibe. And not for nothing, I mean, no disrespect to nobody doing their thing and, you know, crushing shit right now, because everybody's amazing. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's putting their pen out and they doing their thing. But what I notice is a lot of people, they keeping the grit is fine, but yo, sometimes we're hard on your sleeve. You know what I'm saying? Be real with yourself. Be real with the people that you entertaining as well. You know? And that's why I tried to take this approach and do the shit the way that I'm doing it now.
Yeah.
You know, to really give a different side from the average rap shit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's bar heavy right now, but ain't nobody really shedding their soul. There's only a few dudes out here really doing shit like that, you know? So.
Yeah, that's dope. And I think that just as a collective, I mean, everywhere, all over, everybody like the last 3 years went through a lot.
Right.
You know,
real shit,
so
man.
You know, there's the pandemic as the backdrop, and then the emotional and mental health issues related to being stuck in the house and not having social interaction.
Everything.
Right?
And then coming back outside, you know, the environment changes now. Life ain't the way it was back 2016, 2017.
It's before and then now after.
Exactly.
And it's different, you know? Yeah.
So.
That's dope. And it is a creative's, you know, if they choose to accept job to do what only they could do, which is express that in a way that other people can't. You know, people who aren't creatives, maybe they're dope at something else. You know what I'm saying? Like cooking or, you know, whatever, right? But they can't express certain emotions the way that a creative can. So when creatives choose to actually create a drama film, a deep song, you know what I'm saying?
it gets
book.
more of an attachment because people can relate. Now it's something that I can relate to. It's not just it's an overfill of one thing. It's not just an overfill of violence. It's not just an overfill of comedy. It's a whole overround, complete, total balance of the universe in itself type shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's dope, man. I'm looking forward to that. Tan Face.
Yeah.
Dropping everywhere soon. Coming soon.
August, man. I'm doing physicals with all that shit. Shout out to Icy Palms on the cassettes. Shout out to Razor Wave Records for the CDs as well. You know?
Yeah.
And,
Icy Palms is dope, man. Icy Palms.
Yeah, shout out to Icy Palms, man. They're good people, man. Very, very, very good people. They did a release I did back in 2020 called Black Dust.
Yeah.
And, I love the way that they put it together. And that was like my first release ever on cassette. So I'm gonna go with them for the win, of course, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. You mentioned another company I didn't know for the CD. Who did the CD?
Razor Wave. They're fairly new. They just did a couple of projects. Some of the artists that they've, built with and dealt with is what's the most recent that they probably did? I know they did Snotty from the Umbrella, Peace to Him.
Yeah.
Who else they did? I know they did somebody else. I know they did Chubbs, Peace to Chubbs, and a couple of other artists. It's like fairly new, but they making their wave around because they definitely been politicking and linking with some good artists. You know? So I just
shout out to Javon who just jumped in.
Peace, good brother.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody tuning in. My bad if I ain't directly responding. I'm trying to engage in the interview and not break off and branch and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, brother. And I appreciate it. We were just talking about Harbor Kids and how that came about. We were just talking about how the fans of that project are eager for a part 2. If the powers that be, make it happen.
Yeah. Yo, man.
And that's all we're gonna say about it. It's a dope project, and I think that it's continued to open doors for both of you. You both have a lot of momentum. You know what I'm saying, and continuing to open a lot of doors. Harbor Kids, with you and Jamil going back and forth, it's amazing.
Right. Thank you, really man. Much appreciated.
Yeah, brother. So you mentioned Black Dust. I wanted to ask you about that. Talk to us about that project. That's a really unique project. What's the meaning behind the title of Black Dust?
All right. I was kind of on a whole idea. I was really trying to do something after From Niggas to Gods, and it was really around that pandemic era. So I wanted to make something that fit with the time and the solution. You know what I'm saying? I always tell people that's my interpretation of villain music. If I could do villain music, that's the kind of shit that I do. And when Knight was bringing me the production at the time, it was just like real dirt grit kind of style shit, and I was just like, nah, this all is perfect. It fits the energy of the time. So one night I just happened to be fried out of my brain, and I'm watching The Dark Knight.
Real creative space.
Right.
Those ideas you only get with a little bit of help.
You look, spark a little bone, take a couple sips of some Henny, and just have a night where you reflect.
Yeah.
And the Joker, just his character in general, even in the comic books, always stands out to me. And I wanted that representation on that project, like that backdrop of them vocals, because it's villain music. And who's the best villain of them all, in my opinion, is the Joker. You know what I'm saying? Because he knew how to fuck with you, not just on the physical aspect, but psychologically. It was deeper than just the money and just being a bad guy. No, I'm terrorist shit all day. So that was the main concept behind that, just villain music in my own interpretation.
So, and I wanted to ask, because with Black Dust, and then now, and I wasn't sure what direction Tan Face, and I guess we'll see what direction Tan Face goes in. But one of the things that you see, like artists, especially when they get a little bit older, and they're not like a young, late teen, early 20-year-old artist, but then you're an adult, right? And you're trying to figure out, how do I create longevity without having to be all up in the video. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
You have a lot of artists that are developing characters like Czarface, right? MF Doom, I think, is either the first person to do it or the biggest one to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But basically, there's a lot of MCs that have created personas and things where they can use a mask, use some sort of something that goes beyond
the moniker.
Yeah,
you know, the
like
whole down the
exactly,
whole,
like a moniker.
the whole character and shit.
Yeah, you create a character, and there's really dope things you could do from there, like Czarface is done with comic books and all sorts of stuff, right? You could create a lot more merchandise beyond the vinyl, cassette, and CD.
And everything,
and
right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I noticed Black Dust, and then I noticed Tan Face. Have you thought about doing something like that? Because the other thing is that your personality, at times you just spitting, but at other times you have like a big personality, reminiscent, and I say this very respectfully, right? Reminiscent of an ODB, reminiscent of a young Eminem, right? Very
I've been told that a couple of times. I've even been thrown in with Lord Superb and Mos Def.
Yeah.
I mean, that is all appreciative because they're all dope dudes. So I don't take nothing from that. That's
a Mount Rushmore. You know what I'm saying?
You know, that to me, that's a dope lineup. When you talking as far as underground rap, when you talk about those names, especially early M, when his underground phase is going, yo, shit's
Slim
crazy.
Shady.
I mean,
early M, Raucous M.
Right, exactly. Raucous Records, Olympic, I was about to say Special Olympics, my bad, the Rap Olympics and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
As far as persona-wise, I would say at one point in time I did carry. I know you've been paying attention, so if you're familiar with what's going on, I've done this run of this thing with the Dow Lockman.
Yeah.
Now,
Dow, and then later, like there's another one that comes up a couple years later.
The start off is Dow Lockman versus the World. That's like my earlier material, just bugging out. And then I came back with it with the spin back with just the Dow Lockman.
Yeah.
But the dope part about the Dow Lockman shit is it's more so the earlier energy of Dow Lockman was just being out there, being wild, being shock value. Yeah. As to where the Dow Lockman actual project, Dow Lockman EP, that was me developing the character beyond rap. I produced that whole project.
Wow.
The Dow Lockman EP. I put out a bonus where I had like 2 joints, one joint produced by a producer named Wallace and another joint produced by 90s Culture. But a majority of the Dow Lockman EP I produced. So I kind of fall with that when I would say that Dow Lockman shit is kind of like a persona in a sense. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And the whole acronym about it, when I used to write with the marketing shit, right on the buses and shit, I couldn't write "Oh Bitch" no more because they was trying to find out who I was. So I just started writing Dow, and Dow would stand for the anonymous soul. You know what I'm saying? So that was my little breakdown. So
that's dope. That's dope. Yeah. So you've had some MCs. They never go that route at all. Right?
Nah, I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Some MCs have that inclination. You've had that inclination for a while.
Yeah, because, at the end of the day, sometimes you got to think outside of your comfort zone. And you also got to be on some shit where it's like, it ain't just about being overly aggressive. It ain't about being a certain tone. Sometimes it's just picking at your imagination and see how far you can go with shit. Yeah. I mean, I'm never too far from playing with styles and doing different shapes and ideas of music, you know what I'm saying? I could rap the trap shit with the best of them, and that ain't even my flow. It's just, it's so easy to emulate, but, not to take away from that conversation and turn it into that. But it's really also in your creative genius. Like, I'm an only child, so it was just me. When I started writing and writing rhymes, it's what's all in the brain and the headspace. At that age, 12, 13 years old, you didn't really have no headspace to think. Now, think of at the time, you're saying wild shit, but nobody could comprehend it at your age group. Now, think as an adult, the shit that you're saying now, and people still take time to kind of comprehend it. Like, I get people that tell me now, yo, I didn't get the concept or the idea of this, but now after, you know, getting into it and getting a breakdown, whether you ask me about it or just listening to the shit, now I understand it. I get where you're coming from. And I always say that. Sometimes I feel like I'm ahead of my time with certain shit just because I'm not willing, like, to just stay at the line. Sometimes I want to be that habitual line stepper. Just like, all right, so fuck it, what's up?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's dope. Have you thought about, or, you know, is it like in the near future on your mind to do anything Dow Lockman related? Is that coming back?
I mean,
or is that like, that's like an early era and now you're doing something different?
Well, nah, I mean, truth be honest, I've always sat with this idea for like, I want to say about the past 4 years of like blowing dust off a drum machine and trying to get back into producing. And I think that's the only way I would like bring back that ideal character monarch kind of deal, because it all works together. If you listen to Dow Lockman versus the world, that's just young me experimenting, doing wild shit. If you listen to the Dow Lockman EP, you start to see the change, like kind of like the villain, but not completely the villain, you know? So now, where I want to go with it is, now you try to see the villain escape from the, you know, endangered island type shit. You know, he's escaping from the chaos and the madness, you know? So it'd take me some time and really putting it in and working on it like that, but I would love to do that and put that together, you know what I'm saying? Just to close out that chapter of this whole creative space of the Squeegie Oblong shit, you know? So
that's dope. I mean, that makes it like a trilogy.
Yeah, in a sense, you know?
Yeah.
And like, yo, if I really sat down and jumped on the fucking machine and just really took the time and put the energy in, I know I could come up with something fantastic. But let's see. Who knows what the future may hold in the space of life, how we live, you know?
That's right. So, yeah. The what machine do you produce off of? Like, what machine was Dow Lockman, the EP, produced on?
I produced that on a MPC 2000 XL.
Okay, that's dope.
I ran that shit through what is this? My interface I have.
Yeah. So
wire to wire, all connections like that, and yo, I was literally playing the notes as I was recording it into the computer, and then, you know,
no sequencing, no
sequencing, none of that. I was still trying to learn how to align and all that. Like, you gotta understand, that's like really my first time producing. So everything is just like organically fresh. Like, it was just all let's just do it like that. Fuck it. Yeah, it sounds dope like that. We just cut it and do it like that. Why not? Fuck it.
There's a rawness to it, and it's not uncommon. I've known lots of producers that the sequencing part's a mystery. They kind of, whereas the beat making part is the beat making part.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know?
That's how I, would see it. You know, I'm not really. I leave that to the real producer, the guy that put everything in structure. With me, if I got a sound in my head or a sample or something I want to fuck with on the keyboard or something, I don't know how to play keys, but I will play each key individually until I get the sound that I want. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yo, you got to take that chance to make the fucking creative shit.
That's right. Was Dow Lockman versus the World? Did you produce that?
No, Dow Lockman versus the World was I would say more of a collaborative effort, like a mixtape kind of deal, you know? Yeah. So,
that's dope, man. That's dope. Yeah, you got projects out there and things that like aren't on digital streaming platforms. Like, I was doing some searches on you, and there's one joint. I be digging, bro. I be trying to find, like, you know what I'm saying, breadcrumbs. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's you know?
That means you're doing your homework.
I'm trying to, man. I want to honor your career, my bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? You and so many of the folks that come on the platform, like, are tremendous creatives, and you know, and I want to respect that and honor that. And there's one joint you had out there that I couldn't actually find it to listen to it, but I want to find it. That was called like Squeegie Christ Superstar.
Oh,
yeah. What is that joint?
You talking about what's that? The project the day niggas took over. Yeah, I had took that down. I still have that on my Bandcamp though. If you are really looking for it, I have that on my Bandcamp, man. Definitely, right. It's still up on Bandcamp. But I had took it down off the streaming, for not really a major reason, but for something kind of like conflict of interest with something. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't want to catch no heat for it. Not only that, I wanted to take some of that and add it to something else. But that project is still available on Bandcamp. You know
all right. And now that was a whole project?
Yeah, the day niggas took over, rest in peace to Egon Doe. He produced that whole shit.
Wow.
That's my big cousin, man. He came to me one day. We had just finished doing my tape, Brown Paper Bag.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yo, fuck it, let's record something. And he just kept feeding me beats.
Yeah. That's dope, man. That's dope. What do you use to record on?
Logic.
Yeah. Logic's dope.
Mm-hmm.
That's dope. And what about like plugins? Is there any specific plugins you use for your voice or something like that?
Well, I mean, unless I put like low or high pitch on, or other than the, basic compressor and stuff like that, I don't really do too much alteration of my voice. Everything that you hear vocally wise with me, like changing tone, changing range. Yeah. I mean, unless it sounds like there's a filter on it, there's really no filter. That's just me naturally. Wow. You know what I'm saying?
That's dope.
I like to change my tone, like, in the vocal sense. Because you think about it like this. In the early stages of M, when he rapped, he didn't rap in one cadence. He rapped in many different cadences, So I've always followed that formula. You don't want to rap in just one cadence. You want to rap in many different cadences and sounds. Either way, as long as the message is there and you put it in the energy it's supposed to be in, that shit's gonna work.
Yeah. No, it sounds really dope too, because it sounds like a lot of personality. A lot of there's a lot of charisma, and in the songs where you choose to do that. Sometimes you're giving us bars,
right?
You know what I'm saying? And then other songs, it's like, you know what I'm saying? It sounds, it's not something that you hear often actually, and I feel almost like your style you're hearing less nowadays. Like back in the day, we talked about some M, some ODB, you know what I'm saying? Maybe some Far Side, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Some West Coast Cats, Freestyle Fellowship, they had more personality. You know what I'm saying? Right. But some of that's not as prevalent nowadays. And you got it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta keep
I try to keep that energy, man.
Yeah.
That's my goal. Keep that energy. That's the void that we need right now. You figure in a million of people trying to do the Griselda wave, a million people, some people, they just try to say whatever they can to be outrageous.
Yeah.
There's not many people to keep it real. And that's my whole thing about this shit. Let's just keep it real and be real to yourself.
That's dope, man. That's dope. So, you're from Staten Island. You got the project with Jamil Honesty, Harbor Kids. Y'all from Staten Island, right? You came up in an era where the biggest group in hip hop was from Staten Island. It not only put Staten Island on the map for New York, but for the whole world.
Right.
The Wu-Tang Clan is great. And all the Wu-Tang affiliates, there's so much talent that came out of that borough and affiliated to that borough from other boroughs, but affiliated to Staten Island. Brooklyn Cats, but affiliated to Staten Island. To what extent did that influence, your whole perspective? You know what I'm saying? Maybe your style, but also your whole perspective. Because you do have like some songs and albums like the new Shaolin and stuff like that. How do you, how does that impact you being from Staten Island as an MC?
I mean, to be from the actual plantation and, to see the wave that they had on the borough, I mean, it was a real deep thing. Then everybody in every fucking project was trying to rap around that time. Yeah. And like, there's so many Staten Island legends that don't get their proper just due to the fact that, that movement was big. Yeah. And a lot of people tried to do certain things and run with that nature. So to me, as far as the impact on my shit, I'm just glad that I come from a space where I look at it like this. I'm not making music. I'm not making West Coast music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not making hyphy music shit. I'm not making down south music shit. I'm making Staten Island shit. It may not be the same similar blueprint, but it's definitely that vibe because it's straight from that grain.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not from fucking somewhere over here.
Right.
And it's like trying to be emulated. Nah, this is fresh. This is Staten Island.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I like to keep that vibe and that green with my shit, you know, just to always let it be known, like, yo, I always pay attention and give respect to where respect is due, you know, and I like what everybody's doing, but just know a lot of vibes that people catch, a lot of ad-libs, things be doing, and if you pay attention and do your homework, it originated from Staten Island. So,
Yeah.
You know, give respect where respect is due. If you're running in this underground and you jacking ad-libs and doing shit like that, make sure you give respect to the forefathers.
Ooh, that's dope. That's dope. Yeah, I saw you know, you had some stickers coming.
Oh,
Tan Face.
These joints.
Oh, yeah.
These joints.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be around. If you local, you looking for me, I got them. I'm trying to work it out where I can get a couple as far as with the physicals when I put them out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So you know, we talked about Icy Palms on the cassettes, right? And then also there's going to be a physical CD, and I see the stickers, right? Is there any other merch coming? Right now, because I mean that's a lot.
I'm trying to work it out. The best part about all the artwork for the album, as far as Tan Face, is all original artwork, fresh from the hands of my father. God bless his soul. So everything on Tan Face, art direction wise, all of the drawings, that's all him. You know what I'm saying? Wow. The sticker, all him. So you know, I wanted to incorporate. It's an audio art piece, so I wanted to make sure I added the art with the audio. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. God bless your dad.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
I think that's incredible. That's wonderful. That you know what I'm saying, that his art gets to live through this project, and that you get to have that moment also. Right. You know, I think that's really
right. And then you know, everything I do it for my little man. So whatever I do is something for him to see in the future. Some shit that he can pay attention to. Like, yo, your grandfather did this, I did this. So anything is possible for you if you're willing to take that chance. You know?
That's dope. So, I love that. The sticker you just showed us, is that the album cover?
No. That's part of the album cover.
Okay. And so is the character, is that like the main character? Is that good? Are we gonna see that character in different, you know, like what tell us. I mean, because you know, you're telling us how deep the connection goes.
I mean, the artwork in itself, I'm being 100 with you, everything is just all, I want to say, I wanted it to be as out there and raw as the music. So the pieces, my father has millions of art pieces that he put together. So these pieces to me just represented the embodiment of the album. Like, if I could get you a picture of the front cover, I'll send it to you after the interview. But in description, I give a brief description, but it's like a baby, no face. You know what I'm saying? It's got like this backdrop of the wall, kind of like that same backdrop, but not completely. Yeah. And it's got like a little like surrounding medley of medications and shit down at the bottom.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? My father was like real deep with his art and shit, so I felt the art represented the ideas of the project. You know? That piece right there it's the balance, you know, the dark side and you know the human side. So
that's dope. So he had like a lot of sketchbooks, and he had
sketchbooks. I have canvases. Matter of fact, this is not to really branch off, but this piece right here. Know what I mean? He's done this. I'm sorry, I'm showing you my walls.
Yeah.
But this right here he's done.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if you can see.
Yeah,
I got this right here. Yeah, so He's got plenty of pieces that I'm just holding on to. But now it's like, oh, why not let it fruition in the world? I don't want to be stubborn like him, because he was kind of stubborn with his shit, you know. So I want to make sure that the legacy kind of live on in a sense.
Beautiful, man. So, thank you for sharing your father's artwork with us. That's really special, and I love that you know, Tan Face, that all the artwork connected to that project is dropping in August. We're talking probably August 15th.
Yes.
All that project was, all of that artwork related to that project was done by your late father.
Right.
You know,
so it's all original hand. All original hand.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
You know?
Is this the first project that you've ever released with artwork by your dad?
I mean, do scattered, when I do my physicals, do scattered pieces, I use some of his artwork.
Yeah.
Actually, the front cover of Born Loser, he drew.
Okay.
That was the last picture he drew before he passed in 2016. So I wanted to make sure I used that on that front cover to reflect that album. You know?
That's so special, man. That's dope. Thank you for sharing all of that.
Of course, man. It's a part of the process. You know?
Bro. Absolutely. You know, and you know, in promoting this interview and doing my research, I went through your music videos, right? And you got some dope music videos out there. Are you thinking about doing any new visuals for Tan Face or any of your upcoming projects?
Oh, well, of course. I got some shit in rotation that I'm supposed to be working on. I've got my own camera, so I'm trying to learn how to shoot and do things over my own as well. I had put up a little quick Instagram video for Bob Ross, but I actually have an actual video for Bob Ross coming. And I have another single coming up in another couple weeks called Beware. And I plan on shooting something with that as well. You know?
That's dope. That's dope. So is I'm glad you mentioned Bob Ross. That's a dope track. Bob Ross is a dope character. My little girls know who Bob Ross is. I'm like, I Bob Ross is. They love him. Everybody loves him. Gangsters love him, kids love him, grandmas love him. He's dope.
Yeah, man. Cool dude, man. Very, very monotone, laid back, and very creative, man.
Yeah. I remember Bob Ross. I remember I would tell my kids, like, he used to be on TV. Then he used to be on TV. I'm like, he'd be randomly flipping the channel. He'd be there.
See it right there. Got the canvas in.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta balance out your trees.
Exactly.
Don't be scared to dive. You know, make better scenery.
And you come back, like, he'd be flipping around. You come back 15 minutes later, he'd be almost done.
Right. Or on a whole new body of work.
He went back to back.
Right. I was watching something like a documentary, and they said how he would do it is he'd make two versions. He'd have one that's completely finished for the end of the show. Yeah. And then he had one that he would work on as the show was going on. So he made two, like, kind of like the same duplications. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Wow. So he got the finished project, and this is how I'm gonna show you how to do that shit on the television. Wow. Yeah, man. Yeah.
That's so crazy. So talk to us about that, because this is the most recent single you've released, right?
Yeah.
About your most recent project, right? Which is After These Messages, right? And there's a collection of unreleased gems. It's a dope project, right? That came out about 2 months ago. Right. But you got a new single that's out, which is Bob Ross. Talk to us about that joint.
Bob Ross is just a channel of emotion, man. I happened to be riding on the train one day, and when that beat came on, that shit, it gave me that vibe. Like, you really wanted to be creative and paint. So the only way I know how to paint is with words. So I wanted to describe, how I felt. I felt like, this beat is giving me that energy. This is how I create. This is the headspace I'm in. I hope you can understand the shit that I'm saying. But, this is how I create. And I love to create like this. And like I said, the whole production vibe, it just gave me that Bob Ross feel. I was like, nah, that's what we calling this shit, Bob Ross. Yeah.
And you went back and got some of the vocal samples,
I got the beginning of the vocal clip, and I even got, like, when he goes to commercial break, the little music they play, that's what I throw at the end of the track.
That's dope.
I wanted Bob Ross, feel that. It's like a creative chant, you know what I'm saying? Not no regular rap style. I wanted to do it in the sense where I wanted it to sound like a chant.
Yeah.
I ain't wanted just to be on some regular rap shit. Like, yeah, nah. Give it some energy, some flavor.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
Bob Ross available on all digital streaming platforms. Your new
fact.
single. You got
Fact.
another joint you mentioned called Beware. What's
Yes.
that joint? That's another joint that you told us you want to keep the summer hot. You
Yeah.
told us.
I'm trying to, man. Beware is pretty much kind of like the one of the personal projects on Tan Face. Beware is more of a record of you know, being sensitive, aware of your surroundings and the people that you keep around you. You know, dark energy. You know, in the record I mentioned, you know, doing business with people that at the time didn't necessarily have care for my business or didn't care for my business the right way.
Yeah.
You know, I do mention endeavors where I've been out to shows and be out around artists and people, and it's just like, yo, the vibe just don't fit me. You know, I don't feel it. I ain't with it. I'd rather be home with the seed. You know, I don't want to deal with this one and that one because that's not my energy. They not giving nothing positive to me. You know, so Beware is more of like a message for the people. Like, yo, if you ain't feeling it, stay away from it, because even if it feels like it's genuine, it might not be.
Yeah.
You know, keep your eyes open. Always keep your blinders open.
Yeah. That's dope, man. That's dope. I'll tell you, the older I get, the more, you know, I'm less in my ego and more perceptive. And you pick up on vibes, you pick up on microaggressions, you pick up on
on everything.
You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
you
man.
got to move, you know what I'm saying? You just be like, all right, God bless you. I'll keep it moving over here.
Right. Yo, love
I got
is love.
too much to do. You know
Hell yeah. Like, we don't never have to be on a peaceful point, but I've made peace with it myself. You know, God bless you and whatever endeavors you do in life, but I'm going to keep my shit over here and stay where I'm at.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Especially when you got a family, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
You got other people.
Don't understand that.
You. I don't need that energy around here.
Right. Because then, yo, that bad funk rubs off on everybody. Like Jay-Z says, you know, nobody wins when the family feuds. And I'm big on my internal family, you know. Yeah. My wife, my seed, they're important to me. So
that's right.
Anything else is like secondary.
That's dope, man.
So I try to protect their energy as well as my own.
That's everything. That's everything. So, my brother, you've had an incredible career. You know, over I think if we're being honest, 2 decades of hip hop, of releasing incredible music. You know what I'm saying? You had
my boy told me that shit. My boy was telling me that. He said, yo, we almost got to do a 30 for 30 for you. I was like, damn.
That's right.
Yo, you want to hear something crazy, though? When I hear, like, you know, when I hear people like you say it, or like when I hear my boy say it, you know, it still kind of dawns on me in the flesh, like, oh, wow, I didn't even realize that. Sometimes I don't even look at it like that just because I'm so immersed in the regular everyday shit.
Yeah.
It's like I don't really see it for the surface value of what it is. So, you know, I'm always appreciative of, you know, when people appreciate the art. Yeah. That just goes to show me that God gave me a gift and I'm using it properly.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. No, you're incredibly gifted. And the thing is, I think that a lot of MCs, you know, because people that are nice with the pen, a lot of them are prolific. They just have the gift to put together ideas and rhyme and tell stories, you know. But a lot of MCs are hard on themselves because, you know, like maybe they didn't put out 3 albums every year for the last 15 years. You know what I'm saying? You got, in your case, you know what I'm saying? You got albums that you're pulling off. You're pulling them off and still got over a dozen albums out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And who has a discography like that? Only somebody who's really been in the game and putting in work. And, you know, so as a creative, a lot of times MCs are hard on themselves because I don't know why, you know what I'm saying? They just are, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know,
it get like that.
But you, my bro, you've been putting in work, and After These Messages is dope. Harbor Kids is dope. There's so many. I know I'm waiting for Tan Face. You know what I'm saying? And I think that it's a beautiful thing, especially when a prolific, skilled MC begins to actually tap into harder topics and deeper emotions than just showing skill, fashion, and saying fly shit, which is important. It's important. You know what I'm saying? It's important to feel good and to be fly. But when you start talking about life and death, mental health, loss, fear, trauma, overcoming trauma, the joys of fatherhood, the difficulties of marriage, and these things unpacked and you know, through rap and over beats. That's powerful. That's powerful. Man. That's hip hop 50. This is next level, untouched, fertile ground that people are afraid to venture into, and that only the brave are going there.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
I salute you on that.
Thank you, man. Like I said, it's all about the realistic.
Yeah.
You know, I've always been a follower of honesty is the best power.
Yeah.
And nobody's gonna believe in your shit. Not only if you don't believe in it, but if it ain't believable, you know.
Yeah.
And shit, if you telling the tale and you know it ain't believable, of course ain't nobody gonna follow suit with what you're doing.
Yeah.
But if you know you got something that somebody can relate to, yo, open that door. Don't be scared to open that door, because you never know who could relate and understand. Like, I have records of real deep shit that I have yet to put out.
Yeah.
Not for fear that I would receive negative ideas or shit like that, but it's just, you know, certain things certain people wouldn't understand, or they wouldn't get that point in ever in time in your life of shit that you was getting into.
Yeah.
You know, and either way, it's just slicing the onion, man. Slice them layers, man. The more layers you slice, I think the more you expose yourself as a human being, the more people respect and appreciate your shit.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like doing the rapper shit. I don't like doing the rapper shit. I said the shit in a rhyme. I don't like hanging out with rappers. I said it, I don't poly with rappers because these be like Patti LaBelle, bougie bitches that straddle themselves.
Yeah.
And it becomes like that. Like, I'd rather just hang out with the regular people.
Yeah.
Be on small terms type shit.
That's right.
So
yeah. That's
make
dope.
content for the small people, man, because those are the people that buy records. Stop making the shit just to fucking get on culturated lists and get people to mention you, you know. Make what you feel, because 9 out of 10 the shit that you feel and the shit that you like making, they gonna gravitate to that.
Absolutely.
And that's my journey. That's what I've been learning, man.
That's dope.
On some real shit.
That's dope. Squeegie Oblong, hand face dropping, August 15th.
Word, go get that.
After these messages already out.
Yeah, go get that.
2 months ago.
Yeah, go get that.
Go get that.
You know what I mean? Oh yeah, and if you ain't get a Harvard Kids vinyl, I think there's still a couple left through appledizzle.com. Go get you one. That's a historic piece. I know it's an historic piece to me. That's my first vinyl, so I'm hyped about that shit. But yeah, if you haven't heard that, go check that. If you haven't heard the back catalog, check the back catalog. Check Jamel's back catalog. Just check everything, man. Be open to new fucking styles of music.
Yeah, that's dope. I want to make sure people caught it. Where can they find the Harvard Kids vinyl? Harvard
Kids vinyl, Apple Dizzle. That's AppleDizzle.com. Shout out to them over there. They doing the handling and all that very well. Another fairly new label, but they've had a lot of dope releases this year. So, you know,
dope stuff. They really do.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that, you know, people go find you in the right place. What are the best places for them to find you online? Where do you live online?
All right. To be real, I only live 2 places. Actually, 1 place and a half.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I rent the other spot. So I'm usually on IG and I rent Twitter when I feel like going on Twitter.
Yeah.
If you're looking for me on there, it's SQUEEGIE_O. If you're looking for me on the IG platform, if you look at the top, the same way it's spelled at the top, just throw an underscore in the middle of that and you're good to go. Peace. Music wise, if you're looking for anything, you can spell the name at the top, SQUEEGIE Oblong, or put in Squeegie O, because I do have a couple of releases that's still under the old Squeegie O name that you can catch and all that other shit. I'm on iTunes, Bandcamp. My Bandcamp is it's ITSO bitch at band no, it's obitch.bandcamp.com. ITSOBITCH.bandcamp.com. If you want to be a generous supporter and donate to the Helping Nigga Out Foundation, that'd be deeply appreciated. You know, buy some back catalog, get into the music and support it correctly. And yo, there's more coming. I continuously keep making shit, and shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in. Shout out to everybody that's just coming in. Shout out to everybody that I've worked with. Shout out to the people that I'm about to work with. Just shout out to the fucking universe, man. You know what I mean? Real shit.
Yeah, that's dope. My bro, thank you for all your contributions in hip hop. A tremendous catalog. You know what I'm saying? This year, just this year, we're talking about the project you just dropped after these messages, Tan Face dropping in a month, and then another third project that we didn't tap into because that one is they ain't ready.
No, chill. We gotta catch up with that another time. No,
I'd love to do that.
I'm coming to play. I'm coming back outside to play.
I love that.
You know, I don't care who's playing fair. I'm just coming to play. So
yeah,
that's it.
That's what it is. Thank you so much, my brother. It's an honor to have interviewed you, to have unpacked a little bit of your career, because there's so much that I don't think we could cover in an hour.
Yo,
you know what I'm saying?
Love is love, and I appreciate you giving me this opportunity and this chance to get my my point across and explain my platform.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. No, it's been beautiful. Thank you so much. Salute
to you, brother. Once again, thank you. And tune into his shit, man. Every time you see Cristopolis live, man, go tune in. Because he always interviewing dope artists, man. Everybody that he putting on and he giving light and he giving energy to has been some type of dope or some type of original wonderful, man.
Thank you, brother.
And shout out to him for being the curator of putting light to shit that we can't always get light to, you know?
I hear you, brother.
Definitely.
Thank you so much, my brother. Peace.
Peace to you.